Hello, the time has come for me to sit down and film a new wardrobe wish list. If you're not familiar with this very sporadic series that I kind of wish I'd named something different now. I don't think wardrobe wish list is the best name, but I've used it now and it rolls off the tongue quite easily, so I'm just going to stick with it. In which I kind of talk about, in terms of fashion, things that have maybe caught my eye, things I'm browsing, things I've tried on. I described it as a space to talk about all of the tabs I have open, both physically, mentally, metaphorically, just all the things that are kind of intriguing me and interesting me in the fashion realm. This is where I'll talk about it. What else do I have to say? I think that is it, yeah. So I'm going to kick it off with a review of the Tabby Boots. So back in January, when I filmed my first wardrobe wish list, some of you might remember I was talking about how one of the things I wanted to acquire within my wardrobe this year was a pair of mid-heeled black boots that are comfortable and easy to walk in, but that are a little bit more elevated than your kind of regular black ankle boot. Enter the Tabby. I felt like the Tabby was the answer to that search, with its very intriguing and often dividing, just realised that was a bit of a pun there, toe shape. So the most common questions with the Maison Margiela Tabbies have been, are they comfortable and what socks do you wear with them? So I'll start with the latter. Tabby socks do exist. Margiela sell Tabby socks for something ludicrous like 70 to 80 euros for one singular pair, and I think they're silk as well, which, as beautiful as silk socks are, they are quite hard to maintain. I've had silk socks in the past and I find they kind of perish quite quickly. So the next best thing is Muji. So Muji sell, I think it's, you know, they do their like 3 socks for something like £9.95 deal, or maybe it's £12.95, I cannot remember at all. But they're great. They're just a plain black ankle sock, and yeah, that's what I've been wearing with them. You can wear them with regular socks, which is what I was doing when I first bought them, by just pushing like my sock in between my big toe and the next toe, which worked fine, but it wasn't that comfortable and it kind of felt a bit weird. As soon as I switched over to Tabby socks, it made such a difference. They felt so much better. Comfort-wise, and much to the haters' dismay, they are really comfortable. The first couple of wears, this felt unusual, but on like wear 3 or 4, it wasn't even something I was conscious of. It just felt like a normal boot. So if you're worried about the toe feeling strange, honestly, at this point now, I just feel like I'm wearing a regular pair of boots. The leather on these is super soft and supple. It's like a grainy leather. So the regular Tabby boots, the higher ones, have a slightly different leather. It's smoother, whereas this is a lot more kind of like buttery and soft. So from the get-go, the leather was really comfortable and I didn't experience any discomfort when I was walking around in them. The heel height is like spot on. I think this is, I want to say 2.5, and then the other Tabbies, you know, the much higher ones, which I've appreciated from afar for so long, but I tried them and they're a bit too high for me. I think they're like 5 maybe. Don't quote me on that, I'm just plucking those numbers from absolutely nowhere. But this heel height is like perfect for walking around in all day, pretty much. Trying to think of negative things to say. Nothing really negative to say comfort-wise. I would say that I wished I'd had a kind of like new sole put on before I started wearing them. So they have a beautiful smooth leather sole. I won't show you at the moment because it's just gross, no one needs to see that. Which wears off quite quickly. So before autumn arrives, I will be having a new sort of rubber sole put on these for sure, just to protect them. The other thing actually I will mention, I had one slight issue with them. So you might not be familiar with how Tabbies actually fasten up. So there's not a zip, it's like a sort of teeth and hook system. So you have these teeth along here and they hook into this bit here. And I was finding that every time I bent my ankle, so say if I was like walking up the stairs, the teeth were coming out and like the whole thing would then eventually undo. But I was only experiencing it on one boot, just on the left boot. The right boot was fine, which makes me think there might have been a slight fault somewhere with the teeth. So I just have to make sure that they're properly secured in, like really squish them in. Aside from that, no issues. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Styling wise, they are like the perfect boot that just adds a little bit of interest to very simple outfits. My style is pretty basic and simple, and sometimes when I get dressed in the morning I am like, okay, this is a bit too basic, so I can just put on the Tabby Boots and it just kind of elevates it a little bit. Great with like tailored trousers. If I'm just having a day where I've got like tailored trousers and a t-shirt or a blazer or something, these are really good. 10 out of 10, absolutely love these boots. I would say I went down half a size, but then I've spoken to a lot of people who have stuck with their true size. So it might be a case of ordering your true size and then half a size down, or get yourself into a Margiela store and try them on, because I think sizing can be very different on different styles of tabbies. Okay, next I'm going to show you some things that I've tried on in COS recently. I've popped in a couple of times to have a browse and tried a few things on. At the moment, I have to say, COS in their trouser department are on fire. If you're looking for the row-esque type trousers and you like shopping at COS, definitely check out their trouser selection, because they've got so many iterations of that kind of like oversized tailored trouser. These ones particularly caught my eye. This video is not going to do them justice because they're creased and they're obviously far too long. They're 100% silk, and they, rather than having like a traditional front pleat, they've kind of got a side pleat. So they've got this really beautiful shape and fluidity as you walk and move around in them. The colour is a really beautiful kind of subtle buttermilk colour as well, so it's not quite yellow and it's not quite beige. I love these, and what I'm noticing a lot with COS and their tailored trousers is that they have this adjustable waistband feature, not too dissimilar to what you would find in children's clothes, where you have that kind of elastic button feature where you can expand and shrink the waistband, which I think is great because it then gives you the freedom to kind of wear things high-waisted or slouchier. I'm going to insert some pictures of me wearing these trousers because I did get them, and I had them taken up, and obviously they look a lot better because they're steamed and they're the correct length. Also tried this absolutely beautiful silk jumpsuit. You can't really tell it's a jumpsuit unless you stand with your legs really far apart because it's quite wide leg. Just gorgeous. It's got pockets, it's got a side pleat detail as well. The straps on this are adjustable, so here I'm wearing it quite low down but could easily adjust the straps so that the neckline sits a bit higher, and also the jumpsuit in general would look a little bit shorter on me. As you can see here, it is quite long. Just gorgeous. I think this would be such a beautiful one for kind of evening do's. Could also be worn to weddings. I think it comes in a couple of other colours, I believe. I definitely know there's a brown colour. This shape is just so good for summer. I actually have a jumpsuit from COS that's about 5 years old now, that's a very similar shape. It's kind of like a grey purple colour, not too dissimilar to this colour actually, and it's cotton poplin, and every summer I wear it. It's so good for when it gets really hot and you just want something quite big and airy. So I did get this because it's just so beautiful. Yeah, I just absolutely love it. Also tried this dress. On the hanger, this looked beautiful, but when I got it on, just something wasn't quite right. So it's navy, and it's got the top part's jersey, and then it's got this kind of wavy seam detail, and then the bottom half is a cotton poplin, all pleated, so it's quite voluminous. It just wasn't quite right when I got it on. I can't really pinpoint what it was. I think maybe the jersey bit I wasn't loving. I just loved the bottom half of it. I think the top half just wasn't doing it for me. But it's always good to try things on that look good on the hanger. And I think this actually would be a really good maternity dress. Not just exclusively maternity, but I think because of the stretchy upper part, it would work great as a maternity dress. Maybe if it was like a bit more, like a bit tighter on the top part, it would work better on me. I'm not sure, but still, I still think it's a beautiful dress. Then I went back in on a separate occasion and tried on this linen waistcoat, which immediately I was like, yep, I will be having this. I've got the black version and I wear it loads, so I thought this would be a great summer version. A very subtle kind of beigey yellow colour, and I think it's a linen blend, and it's got brown tortoiseshell buttons. Also tried this white denim skirt, which the shape was just all wrong for me. It's too A-line, it goes out, it just looks like a triangle. I think on someone taller this would look awesome, but I just think on me it just cuts off at the wrong point. But still, a beautiful skirt, really thick, heavyweight denim. It just not quite right on my frame, unfortunately. Just wanted to quickly show this dress actually. So this is from Theory. They invited me into the store recently to select a piece. So just to be transparent, this was gifted to me, but I just wanted to show this dress because it's a beautiful dress, but it is very expensive. I think it's around £450, and it doesn't have pockets, which I think is, you know, if you're charging that much for a dress, it should really have pockets. But it is a beautiful dress, kind of not too dissimilar actually to kind of the navy cos one actually, in which the top part is stretchy jersey and the bottom half is cotton poplin. The shoes are all wrong. They're far too like twee and dolly-like for this dress. I have recently featured it on Instagram, and I think I featured it in last week's vlog actually. Styled it with a chunky sandal and tied my hair back, and I feel like it looked a much better. So there are some things I've tried on recently. I want to do this more often. I don't go in and try stuff on very often, but it's something I'm going to endeavour to do because I think it mixes up this video format, means you don't have to stare at my face just talking to you for 20 minutes, and just means you get to kind of just see things that I've been trying on. The third thing I want to talk about is kind of like a trend that I'm seeing that I'm all for and absolutely loving, and it is summer tailoring. So in the winter, I think we so heavily see like blazers, waistcoats, like tailored trousers, and I'm loving seeing like summer versions of that. And it feels like a very intense trend at the moment, I think, because we're seeing it so much everywhere. But I definitely feel like it's something that will surpass this kind of like real influx, because it's very classic. It's just obviously having a very big moment. Lots of like linen waistcoats and matching linen trousers. That cos waistcoat actually that I've just featured does have matching trousers, but I've decided not to get them because I don't think I'll wear them that much. I like the waistcoat paired with like white trousers or like white shorts or white denim skirt, or like a proper big pair of like linen trousers. But yeah, I love it. This outfit is actually quite apt because it is a sort of two-piece suit. This is from Camilla and Mark. Really big oversized waistcoat with nice detailing at the back there, and it's got a concealed placket, and then also matching trousers. Lovely. Yeah, I love it. I think I'm really heavily into tailoring, so it's really nice to be able to incorporate it into my sort of spring summer wardrobe with much lighter fabrics. And yeah, even though it feels like an intense trend at the moment, I think it's definitely one that will surpass that and feel very classic. For the final section of this wardrobe wish list, I am kind of introducing something new. And it's a bit where I want to talk about things that already exist in my wardrobe that I'm looking forward to wearing for this season. Because a lot of this video centres around like talking about new things. Although it's not a haul, I'm still talking about new things really. So I thought it'd be great to incorporate a bit where I talk about things that I already own. Last year in the UK, summer was virtually non-existent. We waited and we waited and we waited and we waited. We waited a little bit longer, but it just never felt like it arrived. So I feel like there are a lot of things that I didn't really get the chance to properly wear last summer that I am literally dying to wear this summer. And with the weather being really good at the moment, it gives me hope that we're going to get the summer that we deserve this year. So the first thing that I cannot wait to crack out, to be honest, I wear these all year round, but I'm looking forward to wearing them more in the summer because I tend to wear them more in the summer. And it is these Margaret Howell trousers. If you watch my vlogs, then you're probably sick to the back teeth of me featuring these trousers because I wear them like at least twice a week. So I got them about 2 years ago on sale. They're probably one of my best sale purchases like ever, especially considering how much I've worn them. They're like the perfect white, slightly barrel-legged pleated trouser. They are a cotton linen blend, so they're not quite as crisp as like 100% cotton. They've got a slightly softer handle to them. They've got a really nice weight to them. They're just like perfect. I absolutely love them. They're quite grubby at the moment, so I'm not going to get them too close to the camera. They need to go to the dry cleaners, but because I love them so much, I almost put off taking them to the dry cleaners because it means I can't wear them for a week, and that kind of makes me feel a bit panicked. But yes, white trousers. I do wear them in the winter quite a lot, but I tend to wear my white jeans in the winter, then I swap out my white jeans for my sort of like more cotton and linen white trousers. Then the next thing is the camp collar shirt, which I feel like has been around for ages, obviously, but I've just didn't really get, like I said, a chance to wear these last summer. So this one's from Arquette. I've had this for a couple of years now. I just feel like it's not really had its time to shine. It did in the first lockdown. I wore this loads. So yeah, camp collar shirts. This one's from Arquette. I don't know if they've redone this. They redid it for a couple of years. I will obviously check. And then this one is from Riley Studio. This is a black linen one. I can't wait for this to like really soften up and sort of, you know when linen sort of starts to feel soften up and it feels a little bit like, the way I describe it is like a little bit furry. I like it when linen does that. So those are those. And then, so the third thing is more of like a colour, but I do have an item to kind of illustrate that, and it's the colour blue. So in that first lockdown, I bought a blue jumper from Studio Nicholson. It's from the menswear section on sale. I don't know what drew me to it, but there was something that was telling me that blue was a great colour to add to my wardrobe. I have a lot of navy, a lot of white, a lot of beige, a lot of grey. Bright colours are virtually non-existent in my wardrobe, as I'm sure many of you have noticed. But there was something about this like electric blue. I was like, I think that could really work. And I was right, because it has slotted like seamlessly into my wardrobe, and ever since buying that jumper I've been so like drawn to like proper like bright blues, and I think it's because it works really well with the colours I already have in my wardrobe, especially with white. Oh, this shirt with a pair of white trousers is just ideal. I will insert a picture here because I did put one on Instagram quite recently. This shirt in particular is from Co. I got this last year. Literally wore it like twice when it was warm enough to wear it, so this will be getting lots of wear this summer. But yeah, I think I'm just, not that I'm on the hunt to buy more blue things, but I've got a few blue things in my wardrobe that I'm just like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to like bringing out those vibrant blues and pairing them with like proper like crisp whites. And then last but by no means least, because there are lots of other things within my wardrobe that I'm looking forward to wearing, but I just wanted to keep this to a few key pieces and keep it quite concise. It is, of course, the Row Gaia sandals. How could I not include these? Every summer I wear these so much. So I got them in 2018, and yeah, every summer I've worn them literally just all the time, and they're still in such good condition. So these are the first version of the Gaias. The Row, I think, stopped making these in 2021, and then they made a few design changes and then re-released them. So they changed the leather. The leather is now slightly more grainy. They changed the design of the crosshatch section, and then the shape. So the sandal now has a bit more of a rounded shape. Although these sound like subtle design changes, I think they've made quite a big difference to the overall look of the sandal, and whilst I think they're beautiful, I prefer the first version. I like the smooth leather over the grain leather, and I like the more squared off toe. Yeah, these have been great. I love them as much as, if not more actually, than the first day I bought them, because they've been so reliable. I've had no issues comfort-wise whatsoever. They're extremely heavy sandal. I don't know if you can tell as my arm is just slowly to hold. They are heavy, but once they're on the foot, they don't feel heavy. I've had no problems with rubbing or blistering or anything like that. Yeah, they're great. And I think since the release of this sandal, we've seen the fisherman sandal just become more and more popular, and there's so many different versions for different budgets and different style preferences and different colours. These ones are particularly chunky, and I know that's not for everyone. So I wanted to show you actually a new sandal that I've recently bought that's still within the fisherman design, but it's a little bit more traditional and less chunky, which I think lots of you will like. And it is the Queenie sandal from Grenson. So as you can see, much less chunky, a lot more classic looking, but still with that fisherman design. The reason I want to include these is because mainly they are so comfortable, which I feel like with leather sandals, like they've been comfortable from the get-go, and I feel like with leather sandals that's quite hard to come by. There is normally a bit of a breaking in period with sandals, especially when like it's a bit warm, there's rubbing, there's swelling of the feet. I've had zero issues with these, like 100%, like nothing. And I'm so impressed. So they come in black and this colour, and they're also available for men, which I think is great. I'm actually considering buying a pair for Dean because he would quite like a pair of fisherman's sandals, and I think these are just a real classic shape. I've been wearing them a lot with white trousers. I think the brown and the white looks beautiful. So yeah, I just wanted to mention them in case the chunky variation just isn't quite your style. These could be another option. Right, I think that is all I wanted to cover in this wardrobe wish list. I am very much open to like suggestions on like other things you might want me to kind of feature in this series, like how to develop it. Maybe you want me to try on more stuff, like go to more shops and try on things. Maybe you want to see more things that I'm kind of looking at online. Yeah, totally, I am open to suggestions. Also, if you've made it this far, I think what I would be really interested to hear is what you're kind of interested in at the moment, like what maybe tabs you've got open, or what things like you're on the search for, or things you've tried on that you've really liked recently, or maybe trends that you're really enjoying seeing. Because with my friends who are kind of like within this industry or like really interested in fashion, I do genuinely enjoy having those conversations, like, you know, what have you got your eye on at the moment, or like what are you loving at the moment. I think it's really interesting because with everyone's different tastes, it kind of just like broadens your kind of like horizons, doesn't it, and kind of exposes you to new things that you've maybe been like, oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, leave some things in the comments box for me to read. Right, I'm done. I'm going to stop rambling. So thank you for watching this video, and I shall see you all in the next one.